So it's not the fact that you don't need anything. You need things. You just don't want to tell people that you need it. It's not the fact that you don't have wants. Everybody has wants. We all have desires. It's just the fact that your wants, you feel like because something in your brain is telling you that your wants aren't as significant as this person over here.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains.
Go to the doctors or whatever you go to get like that test for like what you're allergic to.
No.
Why wouldn't you? It's a human thing, not a race thing.
I don't know, because I remember like I went to this lake. The water was beautiful. It was like crystal clear, and there was this big fly thingy. Like you could see like at the bottom of it. Almost drowned. That's a whole nother story. But it was this big fly thingy that was like on my arm, and I saw it, and I was like, "Don't move, and then it flew off. And then a couple of days later, after I came back home or whatever, I was looking at my arm, and I was like, I ain't been working out, but it looks bigger. So I go to my mom, and I'm like, does my left arm look swollen? And she's like freaking out. She's like, yes. Like, oh my god. I was like, what happened? And I was like, I got bit by something. I think I'm not really sure. So after that, I come back home one day and she has like 2 EpiPens. I don't know how she got 2 EpiPens, but she went to the doctor without me, and somehow we got EpiPens. So yeah,
that ain't sketchy.
Huh.
Yeah, right.
I almost feel like that's one of those emergency situations where they would like just ask less questions, and it's like all of 50 cents to make. So they're like, okay, here, if it'll save your son.
They're like, emergency. Go!
Still,
Just throw the EpiPens.
Where's his arm? Let's play darts.
That's not funny.
That don't sound fun at all, actually.
Especially like I don't think I could do that to myself. Like
That's why they usually don't have you do it to yourself.
I mean, I could.
But on the instructions, it says do it to yourself. It's like you lift your leg. Well, actually, you don't even lift your leg.
I mean, it's not that complicated. Just put it in.
First of all, you have to come down with force as the
not really.
Instructions. As the instructions said, you got to put a little oomph into that.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't.
I remember one of my old roommates, she was like, okay, so now I have a severe peanut allergy. Okay. Like if I come in contact with anything, like whether it be like we're cooking or if I like find chocolate that I don't exactly think of the fact that there might be peanut, like I need you to be prepared. Like it might be in the middle of the night. Like if you hear me like gasping for air and like I start having like throat issues or whatever, then I need you to like stab me with this and make sure that it's like right here. Make sure you do it very hard. Make sure that I'm okay. All of that.
So
if you
get
like
the full dose.
Yeah.
I am so sorry, but you got to move out.
What?
That's too much pressure. That's too much pressure. That's way too much pressure. You are just a roommate. I just met you. I don't know you.
No, I've known her for 3 years at that point.
You got.
Then she sues you for breaking her leg because you too forceful.
Okay, according to Aaron, I'm not all that strong anyway.
I never said that. You've opened jars of pickles that I couldn't open before.
Because you loosened it.
I never did that. That never happened. There's like actually people out here who get sued for doing CPR on people, or like doing the Heimlich maneuver and they do it wrong.
Well, that's because you do it wrong.
I mean, you just see somebody trying to like.
You can just go and throw
panic.
a punch in someone's diaphragm, I guess.
Gut punch. They already choking. Just do a gut punch. But that's a very
good
country. That's a very good gift.
Yes.
the thought that I get to save someone's life and then they turn around and sue me. Or how about the person who sued because they had a DNR order and they tried to kill themselves and somebody did CPR on them, so they sued the person for bringing them back to life because they got a DNR order. That actually happened.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm sure that it happens every day. That's why they have medical malpractice things.
Ladies and gentlemen,
That's crazy.
America.
Oh my god. It's like
I'm
you're
not
alive, but
I'm
I
not
didn't
afraid.
want to.
I didn't ask for that. Now you're not afraid.
It's like, well, go to the forest and just.
No, we can't talk about that. We can't speak like that. Logan Paul tried that, and he's still trying to regain his status as a icon now.
What? He's not the
Suicide Forest guy. Yeah, he did that.
Yeah, but he was a
Suicide
YouTube
Forest
He
guy?
was like literally just going there to make fun.
Not really. He was he was on vacation, and he just happened to wanted to find something fun to do because he make videos every Tuesday and Thursday, and he fucked around and made the wrong video.
So I thought there was a guy that deliberately went out there and he was like, oh,
The Into the Wild guy?
I mean, I'm pretty sure
the one that the book and all that was made off of?
I'm pretty sure the media kind of wrapped it up that way.
Probably.
Like he went out there just to do that, but no, we're talking about a guy who I'm pretty sure got kicked out of Italy, like the whole country,
Oh, geez.
for being stupid and reckless.
Oh.
Because he just like to have fun. He's just a little white boy from Ohio that just loved to have fun, and he's rich.
So he's a spoiled rich kid.
I mean, he grew up poor, so I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say spoiled. He made all his money come to him. He's a very savvy entrepreneur.
Who? Speaking of entrepreneurs,
Speaking of entrepreneurs.
we have a very special book on the table right now. ladies
Oh
and
yeah,
gentlemen.
yeah, that thing.
So we just gonna hop right into the podcast. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Here with me, as always, the Aaron Mack, and we have lovely lady here. We don't have the lovely ladies. One cannot make it today, but we have here with us is Alyssa Ramirez.
Sounds like next time she try to call out of work, just let me give me like an hour's notice before she do that. Like I need to be mentally prepared for stuff like that. Like you can't just like throw stuff like that on me on the fly. Like that's not how that works.
and like just if you didn't want to come,
So
sorry,
I get to talk shit because I don't live with her. So I wouldn't suggest you do this.
What the fuck?
I don't suggest you do this thing.
Just saying. Could have been up front. Don't drop hints. You know, men, we don't pick up hints. Mean what you say what you mean. Say it with your chest. But anyway, we're gonna get into this entrepreneurship. We have a book written, published, on the shelves to buy by our own Aaron Mack.
/ AJ McMullen.
Writer named AJ McMullen.
You know what I just realized?
What's up?
On last week's episode, I was talking about how many hiccups we came along of me trying to publish this book and how it wasn't published yet. Now this week, here it is in front of us.
Hey, funny
Yeah.
how things work when you figure it out.
Right,
This is true.
Right,
This is
right,
true.
right. That is dope.
It is. It's like it's kind of like the saying when one door closes, another one opens. You'll have like so many mishaps, mix-ups, things change slightly, and you should never get discouraged about it, because like people are human, people are flawed, so even the systems we make are also flawed. So something might come up and be like, oh well, it's not gonna come out until this time, and then somehow miraculously it just fixes itself, and it's like, oh, all right, we're back on schedule right now, so here you go.
Yeah.
Just sprint a little harder in that last leg.
Yeah, like the workouts.
Yeah, just like one more push-up after
Yeah,
you done did
Just like that.
Or the mixer.
do 1,000.
Too soon.
Speaking of, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to apologize to everybody who's listening to this. Whether you're listening
Beautiful
on,
waterfall.
the beautiful waterfall. Yeah, we have a waterfall in the studio, obviously. Virtually, not physically. But our studio equipment has really been acting up. But they do not like this new studio.
They were just overutilized, and they were put through a lot.
Or maybe something happened to them during the move.
Only one way to find out: either buy a whole brand new one, or we buy the same one, just new. Exactly. Brand
All
new.
right, so this episode of the Dirty Trump Podcast is brought to you by the Gym State Siege. Ladies and gentlemen,
Hey.
go buy the
Woo!
book so we can get us new studio equipment.
Yes.
And leave
Please.
Yeah. Yes.
And
please.
once you read it, please leave a review.
Yes, because we put a lot of effort. Why are we doing that? That's so tacky. We just like straight up went into a sales pitch. Like that's so disrespectful. Everybody listening to this, like, yo, what? Why? Like, we haven't even got the good stuff yet. Like, I mean,
I'd say that this
at
is
least
good stuff.
serenade us with some brutal yelling about us getting our shit together before you try to sell us something, Aaron Mack.
We're just making sure that you stick around for it.
Yeah, man. Speaking of, we got a podcast to do. Jokes, playtime's over. We did a lot of playing in the last few episodes. Last one, we spent about 10 minutes laughing about. I have no idea what the fuck we were laughing about.
About
but,
a Vienna sausage.
Don't.
Oh no! Then there was Chooser. Yeah, things
Is
like
it
that.
going to get you this time? It got you.
It got him last time. It
no,
got him.
it got him.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Anyway, we're going to talk about, like, not necessarily self-reflection, but more of self-care. During this pandemic, a lot of people have been, stuck in the house with themselves, with loved ones, with just people in general.
Do you know you could have started that statement with just going into that?
But it
The topic was probably inspired by...
Yeah, we'll tell you later. I'm just going to tell you later. So, yeah. Self-care.
Oh no, I was just talking about how you just came into the sentence. You were like, we're going to start off this conversation by talking about self-care, all that, and then you were like, during this pandemic. I'm like, he could have just started with during the pandemic.
True.
You
Now,
you mansplain stuff a little bit.
Well, the thing is a man.
I am so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I do not mean to mansplain. I'm pretty sure you guys all understand.
I was probably gonna cut that anyway.
Okay.
Cool. I totally interrupted you like an asshole.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Just a lot.
It's all right. It's the book on to his head, people. You already think you're a big shot. Sorry, though. It's okay.
Oh.
I mean, beach.
It's not your fault.
Where's the new mixer? I don't see it. Is it hidden behind the book?
You see the way my finances are set up, right? It's on order. It's gonna be
In 16 months.
after I finish making
Actually,
payments.
that's not funny. Like, I've ordered like 2 things off Amazon, and they're on their arrive late. Like, and it's weird because it's always like the tech stuff. Well, one thing wasn't even a tech. It was just like a bench and the stand for my piano. And they're like, hey, we done lost your package. We just gonna be honest with you. You can ask for a refund or wait till the package gets to you. Whatever you want to do, we'll give you your money back. We're sorry.
No,
It probably got lost in quarantine.
It went to Rick one. Got lost on the sorter.
That's not funny because, like, the day I got that message, it was like I just kept seeing a bunch of stand chairs and stands for pianos, and I'm just like,
I can almost feel it.
He can actually feel like he touched one.
right. I was like, just let me see my name come up across this joint.
I'm taking the joint. What? Hey, first of all, hold up. I got a question. If you work at a place like that, right, and you see your
Already
own,
asked.
and you see your own package, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to just ignore it and act like
Yeah.
you don't see it?
Mm.
Yo, that is like,
Because trust me, I've asked.
that's sickening.
I was like, so if I
Like,
order something,
I'm right here. It's right here. It got to leave me to come back to me.
basically.
I guess the saying goes, you know, if you love something, let it go. If it come back, then you know.
What if you let it go? Right. It get you. You physically both work. You picked it. You packed it. Put it. I've done all three before. Put it on the whatever, the truck or whatever, and it don't make it home to you.
Then I guess it just wasn't meant to be, Marcus.
That would hurt. That would hurt my soul.
A little bit. Anyway, we got podcasts to do.
Yes, we do.
Talking about self-care and stuff. You know, I'll cut you off.
Self care. Do I have to start off? Do you want me to
No,
start
go
off?
ahead. Continue.
Okay, all right. So, like, being in those positions where you're kind of, to yourself, or, you know, to yourself and also a loved one, it gets kind of hard to, focus on yourself, because usually sometimes you're always, you know, focused on the loved one, making sure they're okay, making sure family's okay, trying to, you know, work, keep money coming in so you can, you know, keep the lights on, keep food on the table during the pandemic. You lose yourself. A lot of times you lose yourself in that constant battle to you know, just keep afloat. But a lot of times you really have to find your safe place, your safe haven, your sanctuary, and focus on yourself. Be a little selfish, you know. Tell that loved one, you know, hey, I need some me time.
I mean, I feel like there's been a lot of people that can go either way.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's going to be that group of people that are like, I'm going to take this time to journal every day. I'm going to have like the 7 a.m. journal where every day I'm going to write how thankful I am that I woke up this morning, what I'm praying for this week, or what I'm just grateful for in general. Like, I do have my health, or I do have this, or I'm seeking treatment for this, or there's a lot of people that have picked up therapy because of the fact that the pandemic has kind of shined a light on things that they don't necessarily like. But then again, there's also the group of people that just became so bogged down by the fact that they're stuck inside the house, that they can't go anywhere, that they can't do all the things that they used to be able to do. They're stuck with somebody that they thought that they loved, and turned out that they hate each other because they're around each other all the time. And like, the divorce rates over the last year and a half have skyrocketed because of all these people, like brand new newlywed people. Like, it's insane. Like, did you guys not interact with each other at all for extended periods of time?
Apparently not.
And then I think that it's just so much of, oh, well, I'm missing all of this in my life, so I need you to fulfill all of this. All of my entertainment, all of my fun, all of my food, all of this, all of that.
Better watch TV or something.
Yeah. So I've seen it go both ways. Like, I see, like, there's an equal amount of people that are like, oh, well, I'm going to take this opportunity to pick up an old hobby that I forgot about, or learn a new instrument, or be really productive with my life, be really self-proactive. Take a spa night every single, like, week or something like that. Take care of themselves. And then there's other ones that just get so bogged down and just don't know where to move.
So, like, what is journaling? What does that help with? Because I've heard that word before, but I've never. So
From what I used to somewhat do it. I used to keep a happiness journal, and it tended to be like an electronic one where I would just be like, okay, here's the date. And I'm going to, like, write one good thing a day, whether it be like a quote, or whether it be just some random compliment I heard someone give to me or someone else, or if I happen to see a puppy on the way home, or whatever makes me happy. Like, even if it was the shittiest day on earth, like, I don't know why I got out of bed, I had to write one good thing. That way I can look back at the end of the year on December 31st and, like, just read through all of it and be like, well, I guess the year wasn't that bad. Like, you just kind of think about, like, all these bad days or bad things that have happened, But if you can kind of reframe your mind to think about different things, and it's supposed to change your way of thinking. And it worked for me for a while. I should have really done it during COVID again, but just, got too busy. Yeah. I didn't lose my job at the time and things like that. So I just didn't focus on it. But it did really help. But unfortunately, I was very, very bad at keeping up on it. So I'd be like, oh, yeah, I haven't written in this all week. So I guess on this day, was that the day I saw the dog? Or was this the day that I was complimented on my hair? Was this that day? And then it just became like, okay, this month, these good things happen. Oh. So I just kind of defeated the purpose, but.
So journaling is, to answer the question, Marcus, it's a unisex way of saying diary.
Okay, I didn't want to like just classify it as something like that, but I was just
it's pretty much the same thing. Because like when I used to do it, I wrote in it. I tried to do it every day, and then I realized that I was too busy to do every day, so it ended up becoming like twice a week, like or 2 or 3 times a week. I tried to do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then it was like Monday, Friday, and then it was like 1st and 15th, and then it was like whenever I think about it, it's to the point where I was like, every time I wrote in it, I had to explain to my past self from the last time I wrote. I was like, well, since that day, since that day, I had this happen, that happened. Okay, now it's like since that month, last month when I wrote about it, now this happened, that happened. If I went into it now, I would have to write to my past self from a year and 8 months ago, I believe, at this point, what happened. I think it was like last spring, last time I wrote in it. So, I mean, regardless. The self-care thing. I mean, I think the question was, how do we feel about the whole self-care thing? Oh, man. Like, I was really sitting here thinking about it as y'all were talking about it. Because self-care isn't usually like one of those things that I honestly, truly think about. And I know that's kind of weird considering the whole take care of your star player thing, but like take care of your star player doesn't necessarily mean stop what you're doing with the rest of the world to pay attention to yourself. Because star player mentality can mean that you're taking care of what's yours, and what's yours could mean other people. So like the whole self-care thing, man. In my experience of wanting to take care of myself, I can say that at some point I didn't. And I mean, I'm being honest. Like when I say this, if self-care was always at the top of my list, I wouldn't have a semicolon tattooed on my wrist right now. Like, I got to a point in my life where, and Alyssa's right, there is 2 sides of that coin. Like you could be the one that is so bent out of shape because you can't take care of everybody else. And then you're taking care of everybody else so much that you forget to take care of yourself. You forget to look in the mirror and tell yourself something nice, but you're consistently telling everybody something nice about them. You're constantly trying to give into everybody else. You're constantly trying to feed into everybody else and make sure the world got what the world needs from you, but you're not taking the time to take care of yourself to make sure you can give to the world. So you're not necessarily replenishing the vital essence of life that you need to get from the world around you. And then you have the other people who so willing and ready to take care of themselves that they'll literally run over top of anybody who stands in the way of them taking care of them.
That kind of reminds me of of a saying I seen on Twitter. I forgot who wrote it, but it was like, you don't need more of the world needs more of you. So put yourself in a position where you can give more of your thoughts, your
energy.
The things that you and only you can produce. Like this book by A.J. Morton.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
And yeah, like that saying kind of hit home because I've been one that wanted to be the superhero of his life, taking care of other people, making sure they're okay, making sure they're just feeling good, or like making sure they're not having a bad day. I've been that type to just go straight ham, just like go to work full time, have a social life full time, go to school full time, just trying to do all that. Lack of sleep deprived, hallucinations, having to pull over at like gas stations, fall asleep just to get a nap. Yep.
Yeah, I've been there.
Good times. But yeah, like it's mentally draining. Like out of all of that, I think I've probably spent at that time probably like not even a full 5 hours, and that's the week calculated to myself, doing something I'd love, like playing video games or something. Just constantly driving back and forth. I don't know how many miles I put on the car I had at the time. But yeah, like self-care, taking that time to actually doing something for yourself, it's needed. It should be a necessity, but sometimes we just a lot of people, like me, pretty sure Alyssa,
I was just about to say guilty. 120%.
We get in that mindset where it's like, all right, we'll be fine. You just let me get you straight, and then I'll figure myself out later. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a big heart, but it's needed to take time out for ourselves to kind of bring our energies back, put something out to the world that we produced or that we want to do, so the world can see.
Yeah, and I mean, just like you said, I am 100%, 120% guilty of being the type that's like, I can put this off for a little bit. Let me make sure that you're okay. Let me make sure that you're good. Are you good? Are you good? Are you good? Is everyone good? I need to make sure that I'm good before I like go get water or go take sleep or something. Like, I would get to the point where I was working 2 jobs trying to make everyone happy. Got to the point where I was working until 4 a.m. and then waking up at 8 to stay asleep until the very, 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 very last minute before I had to throw on clothes in 3 minutes and get out the door. And then still end up almost falling asleep behind the wheel, whether it be to my first job or my second job. And it's draining. And like, it might not seem like a big deal at the time, but it builds. And if you don't take any time for yourself.
Let me ask y'all a question, like, and I bet there's like people who are listening to this right now who want to know, like, how do you guys feel like, because both of y'all right, like I've seen it in both of y'all, like I've talked to you on numerous occasions about this same problem when we, like, from the time we met all the way up until now, how, like, even when something is literally killing you, you still manage to try to exert yourself to the fullest of your being to make sure that it is resolved, and it's not even your situation to resolve, which is the worst part about it. I want to know, like, from y'all own point of view, how does a person get like that? Where does that come from? Like, what makes a person say, I'll finish myself last. I'm just going to make sure that everybody else around me goes first.
I don't know. I always felt like it was maybe a combination of my upbringing. Maybe the fact that I had a single mom that was like very much like that of, okay, there's no secondary partner in this relationship. I have 4 kids. Like, everything has to come through me. Like, I'm the provider, that kind of thing. It might have been that piece, or it might have honestly been just I have a naturally motherly instinct where I'm like, okay, are you okay? Like, I used to joke all the time at previous jobs that all the younger kids and things like that, like I would be supervisor over like teenagers that are there for their summer job. And everyone always used to call me like the mama bear. I was very protective and all that. That's always been my instinct. And then just in general, like you said, like the big heart. I don't know if it's just a combination of all those things. I've also just been the type that's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm very content in my own skin as far as like what I need. Every now and then I just need to curl up in a ball and sleep. But I mean, as far as like my personal care, like I don't require much. I never have. And it might have just been a lack of awareness of, hey, that's an option. And maybe just over years and years of not having all of that, then I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm fine. Or what it is, but
I think is to kind of put a magnifying glass on a lot of stuff you said. My upbringing wasn't the single parent, but it was the both parents. I was taught to kind of do for myself. Cook, clean, basically, take care of a whole house. And like you said, I'm also low maintenance, and I think that not needing a lot from people and like to just be happy, I think that kind of stems to wanting to help people, because people are just constantly negative for like no apparent reason. The slightest thing will like have somebody in a funk all day, and I'm just like, yo,
it's not that serious.
Just be happy. Like, come on, get in the car. We're gonna go somewhere, and we're just gonna be happy.
Blast some music. We're gonna sing it out.
What else did you say? I wouldn't say I have like a motherly instinct, but it's just like,
hope not.
Fatherly?
Well, no, because fathers are kind of like they're known for like tough love. I mean, I do give some
Aaron's
tough love.
Aaron's gonna be a softie.
But yeah, I think it's
because you're gonna be the hard ass.
What? Roles were reversed. All right, interesting. But yeah, like I said, like people, not saying that they would come from like they wouldn't come from a home that my home was like. So I kind of would see that and kind of want to help, kind of show them that like there's a better life or better, situation if you just like work hard or like look at things this way.
Expose them to something new,
or
something different.
And then also like that same situation, like I would let them go first, because I know I had food at home. My parents, they worked hard, so we weren't really struggling. We were still lower class, but we weren't struggling that much. So I know like our like after school, like during band, if we had like a game or something, band teacher would order like 5 boxes of pizzas or whatever. I would always eat last with my brothers, because even if we didn't get none, sometimes that would happen. We had food at home,
right?
Sometimes we would we didn't really say it, but I know that's what my older brother was trying to teach, because he would make us go last anyway. That some people they might not have had, that could have been their only meal for that that day or whatnot. So just like stuff like that, like growing up and not deep poverty, but just poverty, just seeing that we were a little bit better off made me want to kind of help.
So there's a lot of situations in life where having that quality, though it can help in most situations, it makes you a very good person. However, there are a lot of situations where this quality works against you. Can y'all touch on that for a second? How do you feel about that statement? And knowing that there is a balance, because though there's one side where you want to take care of everybody else. I'm pretty sure that nowadays in you guys' life, you know that there has to be some sort of cutoff point where it's like, okay, I need to stop. And I need to self-reflect for a second. How do you guys feel about that?
You can go first.
Well, now I see it's very important, because if I'm doing it constantly, I know it got to a point where I was looking at everyone like they were looking at me like a target. Like, all right, I'm helping this person, but are they using me? Are they, they're asking a little bit too much, too consistently. So I'm like, is this person I could trust? Are they, do they have my best intentions involved? And I was like, if I look at everyone like that, then it's just, what's the point at all? For real. So I kind of had to like take a step back, and really, all right, so if I help this person this day, and if I go, a certain amount of days, oh, well, I got this going on, I got my own things going on, are they still going to be, like,
friends with you?
Yeah, friends, or, like, are they still going to, so, that had to happen, and just, taking it, not even, testing them like that, but just actually, setting time out for myself, actually doing, stuff I needed to get done, that had to happen so I could, see things more clearly and whatnot.
For me, I think I'm just extremely hard-headed, which Aaron, I'm sure, is giving me like the, I know, kind of look. I've had many sort of wake-up calls in my life that I'm like, okay, seriously, you need to get it together and start putting yourself first. So probably one of the number one situations that like was a singular point in my life was when I don't speak to this person anymore, so I guess it's no fault to anyone. I doubt they would even watch the podcast. But how many years ago was that? 9 years ago. Back when I was a sophomore in college, I was working with this individual that was a bit on the heavier set side. We were really good friends at the time. Used to come up to Fort Collins to come see me at school, and we would all hang out and do whatever on the weekends that we didn't work. And it got to the point that he was like, so I got invited to my best friend's wedding. I don't have anyone to go with me. No one wants to be seen with me. This, that, and the other. And I was like, yeah, cool. I love the mountains. Yeah, that's fine. I'll go. Like, not a big deal. It snowed. And I don't know how many of you are knowledgeable of Colorado, but it snows a lot, especially in the mountains. And this is, and this particular bigger,
Baseballs.
This particular mountain actually comes with winding roads that are actually really fun to drive in when it's not wet or snowy.
Okay, I was like, whoa. Adventurous.
But unfortunately, I didn't anticipate for there to be this much snow. And I was like, I kept on saying in the back of my mind, okay, you need to leave. You need to leave. Like, it's not going to be safe. Like, you don't have a place to stay. You have an exam in the morning. You have, like, other things that you need to take care of. On my way down, I was like, okay, I got to go. Like, I need to get home. Like, I'm just going to go. So on my way, like 15 minutes leaving the wedding, I ended up fishtailing. My car unfortunately had balding tires on the back.
Ooh.
And because I was in college and didn't exactly have a bunch of money, I couldn't just like drop $500 on a pair of tires. My car fishtailed and I actually ran off into a ravine that dropped about 75 feet. So the fact that I rolled, bounced, hit the top of a tree, rolled over that tree, had to land on my tires, and then slammed on my brakes to not hit the river. I was like, oh, yep, definitely could have died. like after I'm like reviewing all of, like the footage and things like that, and like the case stories of like what would have been the trajectory of the car if I had done like this little bit different, or if like I hadn't ducked and
There
didn't.
was footage of this? Oh.
But they were able to calculate based on like how the trees had fallen around me and things
Right.
that
Jesus.
like this was the exact situation. And I told him like how many times I remember rolling and like how I had to slam on the brakes once I felt like I was on the ground. And this sweet guy just ended up happened to see my caution lights because it was like the dead of night. Saw my caution lights beaming down from like 75 feet below. He was like, are you okay? And so he was like, I have a rope. And I'm over here in like this dress and heels and all this. And I'm like,
oh my God.
yeah, I could use some help. And I'm like, so he's trying to figure out how to get the rope to me. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just sit here. My car's still running. The heat still works. I guess I'll study for my exam now. And I like,
Wow.
it got to the point where I was like calling the cops and all these other things, trying to call the friend that I went to the wedding with. And I was like, so I got in a car wreck. Is there any way like you can meet me where I'm at and we can drive down together? I guess we'll figure that out. And I don't know if it was just the adrenaline or what, but like I was like, okay, we'll handle that later. That's fine. We're good. So I was like just making sure that I wasn't an inconvenience to this guy that was helping me out. Wasn't making sure that I was an inconvenience to the person that I went to the wedding with. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm sure that you're probably not done, but I could really use some help. Like I left him a voicemail and all that. He ends up finding me, finds the guy that was pulled over to help me out. The most awkward drive home. Like my roommate said, absolutely not. You are not having him drive you all the way here. We're going to meet you halfway. We want to make sure that you're taken care of. And that was the most awkward car ride because I was like, okay, if I hadn't listened to like my conscience and just listened to my heart and like the logical side, I could have avoided all that.
Wow.
And like it wasn't until I saw my roommates for the first time after that I just like started bawling and having like this whole like conniption over like, okay, that was really stupid. And it was all because you put others first. And then it got me on like this path of, well, fuck everyone.
All right, so I get it. So wait, what was that last part? Fuck everyone.
Go ahead.
Did you say fuck everyone?
You did.
I also got to the point that I was full blown like, let's take care of everyone again.
All right, so
and then I go back.
all right, give me a second to ask this because I really want to know. And that's a very heartbreaking story.
It is.
Like that's the first time she ever told that in that much detail to me. Like
I still get emotional every now and then that I tell it.
I want to know, like, based off of that, because you had a life altering moment that could have went 100 times worse. You could like literally not be here right now. I want to know, how can a person be in a situation like that, have the realization, the light bulb comes on, and then it just turns right back off, and then they just end up right back at square one, doing the same thing, destroying themselves again, doing the same thing that they started off doing, that they knew was a problem, that they knew they compulsively did and had an addiction to, literally, and still went back and do the same thing after realizing that they where their error was. After realizing the error, how does one go back?
That's how I feel like it's an instinctual thing. Like it's got to be some sort of motherly instinct. Plus I'm also very hard-headed. Plus I've realized over the years, especially as I've gotten older, I'm very much an empath. Like, so if somebody's not okay, it gives me physical, like, discomfort in myself that I'm like, okay, something's wrong. Okay, I can't fix me if I don't fix you. Like, can we fix you? Like, if anyone, like that one time that our boss had gotten into a car wreck and, like, he was in the dumps. And he never gets in the dumps. And I, like, felt it. I was, like, crying for him because I was like, okay, I remember having this bad of an accident. Like, the way that he described it, it's exactly like mine. Like I full blown like had like streaming tears. And it wasn't even something that happened to me in that moment. It had been like something that happened 6 months ago. I mean, 6 years ago. And like, I just barely met this manager, but I could feel it.
It also didn't affect him as much as it affected you either.
Maybe it was intensified because I knew how bad it can get.
Yeah, could be. Because like you think about the whole empath thing. Like I feel that too, but I'm the complete opposite. I'm like, I feel your negative energy. I raise you one by walking the fuck away.
Wow,
don't let that into my
a lot. With your case, it's kind of like a relapse.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it sound like it was an addiction, but I mean it has the same properties of it.
Mm-hmm.
And just like an addiction, you can have a relapse in it. And that situation is fairly
going
addiction.
back to old habits.
Yeah. And just like with the whole situation, you have to. It's okay to feel. It's okay to be empath, but like you have to find a space to where you cut that off.
Yeah, still
Like,
working on that.
When those, because I sometimes feel people's emotions like that, but it's just like like they have to bring themselves out that.
Yeah.
A lot of times people can just be in a funk because they put themselves there. That's their instinctive way to freaking live for some strange
then they
weird
love
reason. Which blows my mind because it's like you're literally killing yourself because that's basically how stress works. It you compact and then you're having all these physical, mental issues that are proven by science, doctors, and all this other stuff. Stress is the #1 killer in America, and all this other stuff, and you're constantly piling stuff on your back, and you're killing yourself, and you find no way out of that. You just constantly just dig yourself in a grave deeper and deeper and deeper, and somehow they live. That's their everyday life, each and every day.
Yeah.
Cut them off, people.
Cut them
off.
Cut them. Scissors.
They are parasites.
Saw blades.
They're cancerous.
Cut
them off.
Snips.
Acetone. Burn them off. Whatever you got to do.
Pole cutter. You don't want to get close. It's social distancing, everybody. Pole saw. All right. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I've had this problem. I've been there. I know what it feels like. I think each and every single one of us at this table have had the experience. I don't have the stories that you guys have because you guys as full grown adults are still pretty much living that. I managed to break out of that. It's something about basic training and a lot of things being in the uniform just kind of helps you break out of it. But there was like things that I had to notice that I did in my life after the fact. When I started to notice it, it was just something that I had to fix because I knew that if I didn't fix it or if I didn't do something about it, then I would end up in the same situation every single time. And there's something about being the nice one where you want to take care of everybody. You end up in the same situations every single time. Like you are going to come across the people. You're going to come across two kind of people when you're like that. You're going to come across the person that appreciates every single thing that you do. And you're going to come across the person who appreciates every single thing that you do. But the second person, they appreciate every single thing that you do, but they're going to take you for everything you got. Everything you got. And then on the flip side, those two people, one, if they're having a bad day, you'll know that they're having a bad day because they're going to tell you they're having a bad day. The second one, if they're having a bad day, they're going to take it out on you by taking everything you got. So I had a situation in my life where I was living that. I had a person that was in my face every single day. Why? Because I lived with them. I lived with this person who was taking me for everything that I got. And then when I didn't give it, it was a problem. We talked about this on the last episode where you got people in relationships who are taking people for everything that they got. And then like if you have this problem, this urge to take care of everybody. And I ain't about to sit here and say that there's something wrong with taking care of everybody. I'm not about to say that. But at the same time, you got to understand that, and Marcus said it already, you had to understand that there is a cutoff point. And your cutoff point with everybody is not going to be the same. I'm just going to be real. My cutoff point when it comes to taking care of Alyssa, but that threshold is going to be a lot higher than everybody else. Marcus, I love you as a brother, bro. I mean, I'm telling you that like real talk, but my threshold for you is probably not going to be as high as it's going to be for her. Like, that's just realistic. That's just logistics. That's how that works. But there are people that I'm going to do stuff for, and then there are people that I'm not. Like, it is what it is. Like, you can't ask me for the same favor she can. But I'm not about to sit up here and try to make you feel bigger than you actually are in life because I'm not going to give you the same thing that I give her. No, this is my significant other. Like, I don't need to prove to you because this is my significant other that I'm gonna treat you with equal and as much love. That's not how that worked. Like, there has to be a limit to how I treat this situation. I love you and respect you as a brother, and I love her and respect her as my significant other, and that is what it is. But you have some people who they go above and beyond to try to get everybody to understand, I am here for you, I love you, you are human, and I embrace you, and I'm going to give you the shirt off my back. No, I need that shirt. It's cold outside, bro. What the fuck you mean? Like, no, I'm not going to give you my shirt. Like, I can show you where to find one. We can knit one together. Like, bro, like, for real, like, yo, but I'm not going to give you the shirt off my back. And then there's people who are so wrapped up in the idea of giving, and taking care of everybody else that when the people who don't deserve the gift shows them that they don't deserve the gift, they continue trying to give more, which is also a huge problem. Have y'all ever been in that situation? That's cool. Y'all can answer on the next episode. But you got people who you got people who live their lives on the basis of what other people think. I have to, because I want to take care of you, I absolutely care about what you think. And it's a situation where I can be, and I'm treading on this real lightly because I'm taking everything that y'all said in this conversation and I'm putting it, and I'm trying to wrap it into
a little package.
Sure.
A very aggressively chained package.
Very aggressively chained package. She get on my damn nerves. But I can be so damn, what's the word? I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, Alyssa, but and this is based off of something that you said earlier. But I can be so sick in myself, and I'm not saying that you are, but I can be so sick in myself and so delusional about helping people that I can say something like, I'm low maintenance and I don't require much. When in all reality, it's not the fact that you don't require much that keeps you in the state of helping others, because others require the natural needs of life. Like, everybody requires a normal humanly amount of things in their lives, and you come along saying that you don't require much. No, it's not the fact that you don't require much. It's the fact that you put your requirements on a scale so low because you to try to make somebody else feel like they're more significant than you. So it's not the fact that you don't need anything. You need things. You just don't want to tell people that you need it. It's not the fact that you don't have wants. Everybody has wants. We all have desires. It's just the fact that your wants, you feel like because something in your brain is telling you that your wants aren't as significant as this person over here. Me, I'm a little bit different. I want a lot in life. I want a lot in life, and I don't need nobody to give it to me. I want a lot. Whether she can't give me $1 million. We both work at the same place. She can't give me $1 million. I want $1 million. I'm not going to tell because I want to take care of her, because I care about her needs. I'm not going to sit back and say, no, I don't want $1 million as much as I want to take care of her. No, I want both. Why would I want to sacrifice that? Why sacrifice what I want to sacrifice what somebody else's want? What somebody else wants? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Like, y'all go ahead and sit here and tell me and try to convince me for another 30 minutes why that makes sense. Why it makes sense for me to diminish what I want in my life to take care of somebody else. Because this is what we're talking about, right? This is what we're talking about, correct?
Right.
So for anybody out there who's listening to this and you had this problem, you're listening to 3 people at the same, like on this podcast, who have all gone through this and all took 3 different perspectives of it. You got the male side of it, you got the female side of it, and you got a side who is completely detached, completely detached from that mindset. I am good on that. I have cut so many people off because they try to make me feel like my needs weren't important, and I think that's all. I think that's all it is, right? Like, you guys, I mean, I'm not gonna say y'all haven't come across it, but I've come across people who try to make me feel like my needs weren't important, bro. And that's what made me, and that's what got me to where I am now. Like my ex, bro, like, yo, she made me feel like my needs weren't important. And I was like that. I was like, yo, I want to give you everything that you want in life, but you looking at me like I don't matter. So I got to do what I got to do for me, because I still want stuff. like I still want stuff. I'm not about to push it down. I'm not about to push what I want. I'm not about to push what I want down because you want something. And we got conflicting beliefs about what we want. That's not how that works. Bro, this book here, like, if I was still in that relationship, this book wouldn't exist. But because I'm with somebody now who puts others' wants and needs before her own, she's always like, look, go ahead and do what you need to do. Go ahead and work however long you need to work. I'll be right there with you. But at the same time, there's still a lack of balance there too. Because she wants time to cuddle. She wants time to just spend time with me. She wants me to just look at her, pay attention to her. And I get that. But at the same time, there's still work that needs to be done. And I'm complete, like I said, I'm completely detached from that. I honestly, like, there's been days where I've just like work, and I don't even pay attention. I'm not even remotely involved in what's going on in my immediate surroundings, and it upsets her. So, but guess what? Because she is who she is, and because this is the conversation we're having, you think she ever said anything about it?
Probably not. No.
Because she's so used to people telling her that her needs and her wants aren't important.
I promise you guys this is not the pity party Alyssa episode.
Dispute?
Huh?
Is there a dispute?
No. But there is a need for me to continue to grow. I have changed somewhat.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot more backbone over the years. And it's because I've been taken advantage so many times.
Right.
I used to be the quiet little mouse in the corner that's like, yeah, I'm okay. Nope. Nope, I'm good. I'm going to go over here and cry. I'm going to go be in my feelings for a bit. And I'm also the type that has the, okay, you know what? I'm fed up. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm gonna tell you right now that that's never gonna happen again. If you do this again, me and you will not talk anymore. And then I'm also now in this sort of weird range where I'm like, okay, you have one more time. Okay, you have a half more time. But after that, it's done. And I can joke about it and everything, but at the same time, it is very hard to balance, and it takes a very conscious effort to continue to grow in that. And that's something that I've been trying to prioritize. I try and be more open with him. Like, yes, I obviously know that like the books and like work and things like that do take a lot of time and energy. And if we're going to move from anything from where we are now to where we need to be or want to be, I accept that sacrifice. But I'm also every now and then I'm like, okay, can you come here, please? Just for like 5 minutes. Come cuddle me.
That's new. She never used to ask. She never used to ask. But she would like passively aggressively complain about it like every now and then. Or like make some like sly remark about how I don't spend time with her. Then I got to be like, wait, what? Like that didn't happen. Wait, what? What's going on? Like what the fuck happened? Like and then she's upset, and I'm like, I don't know what happened. Like because you just couldn't be like, all right, my needs matter. Let me tell you what I want.
That's interesting. It reminds me of a video on TikTok I've seen. And I know this probably doesn't happen in a lot of relationships. Because it was kind of a video of like how relationships should go, how like a normal healthy relationship should go. So it was about this female. She just came out of a very, I guess, like a abusive or relationship where her needs weren't met, her needs were downplayed and all this other stuff. And she goes up to this guy, and well, the guy in the new relationship, she's like, hey, when you like hug me from behind or like hug me when you're like real excited, you know, that kind of makes me nervous. Can you like kind of address yourself, like make your intentions known before you like
knock first?
Basically something like that, like before you know, just engage. And he's like, oh yeah, I'll totally, you know, work around your schedule and all that other stuff. And she's like, really? You're not mad? You don't have a rebuttal? He's like, no, you have needs, and it's like you asked for it.
Compromise is what a relationship is. That's what
she's just like, oh,
that sounds familiar.
I have a whole lot of free time on my hands now. I don't know what to do. I thought this was gonna be a whole situation. I prepared a speech and everything.
This is the point where we usually argue for like 2 hours and we go to bed mad at each other and wake up and just have makeup sex, and then we do it all over again tomorrow night. This is what we do.
It's just like, no, I understand. I got you, babe. She's just like, oh.
Yeah, man, that's and it's weird. Like people, like some people, it gets so bad. Like I've known people who's been in that boat, and because they meet someone who doesn't do what people usually do in that situation, like that, like she could have just flew off the handle and started finding problems just because that's what she used to.
Yeah. A lot of times, like communication, a lot of relationships fail because of communication. Like tell that significant other or that person you're seeing, messing with, whatever, tell them your true intentions. You know, if they're not with it, they're just not. You just
find another one.
Basically,
plenty of fish in the sea.
It's actually
not for me though. Just one.
But yeah,
agreed.
There's no problem, and there should not be a problem with making your intentions known. They're your intentions, they're your needs, they're your wants, all that. Be true to yourself, and you know, if that other person can't, you know, if they're not with it, there's someone out there that will be with it, that will, want to go skydiving with you, want to do the little romantic, cuddly, wobbly things, be your wobble, snuggle bear, and all that other good stuff.
I'm not that bad.
I was like being in dinner, make your attention.
I'm glad the world knows that your intentions are heard in our relationship.
Yes, they are.
Got me bad.
No.
What?
No.
You know that
What
song?
is that?
Got me bad.
That's
You
not.
like got me bad.
That's not a thing. It's not a thing. Yeah, man. That's that's wonderful. You have anything else to add on that?
Find your balance, people. I know it's hard. Takes a lot of effort.
So how
But-
do we move forward with how does one find that balance?
Figuring out what your threshold is. Figure out what your breaking point is. Then go like a good 3 steps back. 3.5. Don't get to the point. So Aaron and or a bunch of other people have told me over the years, you can't give what you've always given to people if one day you drive yourself to the point that you're past your breaking point, like whether it be like sleep. Like you can't work 80, 90 hour weeks and expect to survive on only 3 hours of sleep a night for an extended amount of time. Think of, yes, you might be providing for that
was a
family.
very watered down example.
Think of that family that you're providing for now that you think is so reliant on you. What are they going to do when you're dead when you crash into a cinder pole? Cinder block pole.
Center block pole. All right, cool. Dope. They make those now?
They usually hold up highways.
You mean the median?
No. The big old cylindrical, like, cement.
Oh.
Your highways are different here.
Columns.
Yeah.
Bridge supports. Right?
Yeah, they're usually,
I'm
they're
sure
usually
that
for
there's
ramps,
many
ramps and
names
bridges,
for things.
yeah.
Yeah, they usually use for bridge support.
There's many names for things.
They are. Damn America.
You also totally took away from my impact to the
Oh,
story.
I'm so sorry.
Anyway, dead. What are they going to do without you? And just to think that if you would have settled for
Just a couple more hours of sleep.
even just a couple more hours of sleep, or hey, what can we do to try and cut back? Hey, what can you do to maybe make
Meet me
it so that
halfway.
I don't have to do all of this? Like you could have figured something out where everyone could have benefited, not just one individual or one odd man out or whatever the case might be. Like not only is your mental health up until your very last moment shit, but think of the lasting impact. Like no one's going to be happy to see you gone. They're not going to know how to survive without it. They're just going to be lost. So who's really helping who in that situation?
True.
So if Marcus ain't got nothing to add to that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and you good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and finish the conversation off by saying, like, guys, y'all got to y'all got to be a little bit more realistic about what it is that you're seeing in your immediate circle, in your life in general. You got to be a little bit more realistic about your needs, and you can't be just optimistic that everything is just going to work itself out and people are just going to get their shit together, and you don't and you just going to wait for this magical moment where everything is just going to mellow out and you can kind of pull back when they're not looking at you, because the matter of the situation is that these people have their hand out to you because you reached your hand out to them. They reached up and you pulled, so they just never let go. And the fact of the matter is that the more you give, the more they take. That's just being real. That's just being honest. The more you give, the more they take. How much you give and how much they're able to take is completely up to you. They don't just take without you giving them the authorization, the signature on the dotted line to take as much as they possibly can from you. That's how contracts work. That's how bartering works. I give what I'm able to give, and you take what you're able to take. Because if I give you more than what I can give you, or more than I'm able to give you, then that leaves me in a deficit. And I don't know if anybody know what the word deficit means. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people know what the word deficit means, but you're pretty much in the negative. That means that you're trying to scramble now because you overdrafted yourself so to the point that now I have to go into the lab and try to figure out that, all right, what I gave you, it don't exist right now. I gave you something that don't exist. So now I have to scramble to try to make it up because now I got to get back to zero. And you're stressed because you're worried about not them not being able to give to them. You're worried about the reaction of what they're going to give you when you're not able to give to them. And you're stressed because now that you've been taken for everything that you can give, now you have to try to figure out how to get back to zero so that you can give to them the next time. And it's not going to work. For you to think that that's going to work for a long, prolonged period of time, you're just fooling yourself. Like just being 100% real. You're just fooling yourself. And I know too many people who fall for that same trap. And it's not even a trap of what's going on externally. Most of the time, it's an internal thing. Mm-hmm. It's all internal. These people have made up in their minds with everybody else, how everybody else is going to react to them saying, I am putting me first. Mm. You have completely made up in your mind what everybody else is going to say. You have said that everybody else is going to argue with you. There's not going to be anybody in my life. There's not going to be anybody around me. Nobody wants to be associated with me if I can't give them everything that I have. And it's completely false. And the reason why I say it's completely false, because if there's a person in your life that is going to change up and going to switch up when you decide to put you first, then they don't need to be in your life anyway. Let's go ahead and be realistic about that. So with that being said, if you're afraid to put yourself first, you have to understand within yourself why you feel like that. You had to be completely realistic about why you feel like that. You had to be completely realistic about what happened in your life that made you like that. You had to go back and address that thing. You had to understand what put you there, what put you in the headspace, because I promise you it didn't come out of nowhere. Most people get it confused and they get it twisted because this is just the way I am. No, you need to go back into and dig into your memories and try to find out what situation, what words were said to you, or what happened, what person in your life that brought you up put you in that situation, who made you think like that. And you need to go back and address that. Go back and talk to that person if you need to, because I promise you, and if you can't talk to them, you need to just be real and just honest with yourself so you can fix that, because that's a problem. Nobody should be in a situation where they are afraid to live their lives, because you are human. We all human. We all bleed red. We all shit brown, put our pants on one leg at a time. And you deserve to live the life that you want to live. So stop hiding behind the opinions and thoughts of others, because that is not where you belong.
Whew. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome.
Clearly.
And we are signing out.
Bye.
Peace.
Hold up.
Buy the book.
Yeah, this episode of the Dirty Trump Podcast is brought to you by the Gem State Siege and Ascension Publishing. You can find the Gem State Siege right here on ebook and paperback on Amazon.com right now. The link will be in the description for the website, ajmcmullen.com, as well as the link for the book. You can buy the book either on the website or you can buy the book on Amazon at the same exact price. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Dirty Trunk, like Marcus said. See you next week. Love y'all.